This is a little bit different, and I don't have to yell. It's kind of weird with y'all being so far away and I'm out here, but we're in the round pen. So we're about to bring in 4 of the weanlings. These are the 4 that I'm keeping. They're my keepers for the year. Now, I wanted to go through each one of them since we're not that far away from 2026 foaling season. So we're not that far away from having new babies. And really these weanlings, they're gonna be hanging out for their yearling year. You know, they're gonna be growing up. We'll be kind of assessing them as they grow up. But I wanted to do a video looking at them at this stage in their life. You know, they're each 6 to 8 months old, looking at what I think their strengths are, my hopes for them, and just talk about, you know, how they're bred, what I would like to see them, you know, go on to show one day, and then that'll be a fun little look back video one day. So we're just gonna bring them all in, watch them go around, talk about them specifically, so that you get a little bit of an update on the babies you watched be born, and then we can look back at this hopefully in a couple years when they're big bad show horses. So we're gonna start off with Kirby. Okay, so just for a reference, I'm not in appropriate footwear, I'm aware. I'm kind of the narrator of this episode. Rachel, my lovely barn manager, will be lunging them for us, keeping them going. Matt will be the one filming them in here. Abigail's getting us some footage for whatever I don't know, I might make a video out of it. But we're just gonna kind of see what they're all doing. Let's just take a look at them on the ground real quick. It's Kirby. Kirby, you were supposed to just walk around majestically at first. Easy, girlfriend. So Kirby is the oldest. Don't you be doing that, girlfriend. So Kirby's the oldest of the keepers. She was born this past January. So her sire, if you put a little picture up, is Machine Maid, who is, I think, the leading Western pleasure sire of the time. He's fantastic. She is not our first Machine Maid baby. Her mom, her dam, is VS, the First Lady. That is Kennedy. Y'all saw her be born, and that is also the mother of my young stallion, First Things First. So Kirby is a maternal sibling to Denver. She's definitely the most spirited of the babies that I'm keeping, so it's a little bit harder to get video of her. Oh, look at that cute little trot, girlfriend. She's a hefty girl. She is not going through the gangly, skinny phase as her siblings, or actually it's her nephews are, not her siblings. That's a cute little jog. Look at her pointing her little toe. See, she likes to go faster, and it's just not what we want to see. She doesn't really want to go with, oh, there we go. Kirby's registered name is RS Curb Appeal. Get it? Kirby, like K-I-R-B Appeal. And she's so gorgeous. Kirby. So what I really hope for Kirby is that she'll start off her career in the Western pleasure, but I think she'll follow in her brother's footsteps and probably be really, really cool in the performance halter. That's our hope, at least. And then in the Western riding, in the trail, I think with her size, with her bigger movement, I think she's going to be really cool in what's called the all-around classes. So, you know, trail, Western riding, horsemanship, maybe even the showmanship one day, but she'll be an asset. Watch out. One thing a lot of people are going to ask me, they're going to be like, are you keeping Kirby? So I want to specify, these 4 babies are my keepers of the year, meaning I'm going to keep them through their yearling year, most likely, to see how they grow up. But I can't show 4 horses from every single year. So probably a couple of these babies that we're watching today will end up being sold at some point. Whether that's as yearlings, as 2-year-olds, as 3-year-olds, I don't know. Kirby is one of those horses that I can't breed her to either of my stallions, but it would be a great way to exemplify, you know, my stallion's progeny as a broodmare one day, or no, my mare's progeny as a broodmare one day. You know, she's a granddaughter of my stallion VS Code Red, a maternal sibling to my stallion First Things First. So it wouldn't be the worst thing to keep her in the broodmare band. It just does make it a little more difficult that I would have to breed her to other stallions. Sometimes like my favorite thing as a kid, I loved to come out here and just do a little, you know, nice little calligraphy. The E always messes me up, you know?
It's hard for a lot of people.
Need to clarify a little something. So next is Dallas and Knox. They are in llama boy phase. Okay? They look like llamas. They have long necks. They're skinny. They're pot-bellied. It just is what it is. Okay? They are llamas. Llama-y. This is for the glow-up factor. Okay? We're looking at them now so that in a year or two, we're like, whoa. You know? Anyway, this is Dallas. AKA RS, wanted in Dallas. His sire is VS Code Red, and his mother, she is now deceased, a great show mare by the name of Goody Goody Gumdrops. So he has a maternal sibling here from last year named Molly. He has 2 full siblings that are both fillies from Goody Goody Gumdrops owners, High Point Performance Horses, and they both went on to win the Western Pleasure and the Trail at the Congress, were very successful show horses. So the story of Dallas is that I love his mom and I wanted to purchase an embryo, and I had the opportunity to purchase an embryo, and I wanted to breed her to VS Code Red again, but she had never, with that cross, had a colt that could potentially be a stallion prospect. She'd always had fillies. And so we used sexed semen, and Dallas was born. So Dallas is one of those that by ancestry, he should be very good in the Western Pleasure, in the Trail, in the Western Riding. I can see that now when he moves. He has to poop first. Just give him a second. Just give him a second. When he starts moving, you'll see it. He's got this really natural loft in his trot. He's got this really, really natural impulsion in his hind end. Even when he's, you know, jacked up in the hind end right now. Like, conformationally, he is a weanling that is in the middle of growth spurts. So we can't judge him too hard. Temperament-wise, chef's kiss. Just such a good boy. Dallas, can you please move for us?
He said, freaking what, dude?
He doesn't know anything. He said, I baby.
It's like, you brought me in here.
You should know.
He just wants to be in the middle of people. He just loves people. Oh my gosh. So I guess whether we get to really see his movement or not, Dallas is one of those that we are keeping as a stallion prospect. So take my word prospect very seriously. So when I say keeping as a stallion prospect, I mean they have to fill a lot of boxes for us to continue to keep them intact, meaning not to geld them, not to castrate them. So when we want a colt to possibly grow up to be a stallion, to breed them one day, they need to be 6-panel negative at least. So that means, you know, genetically speaking, they are clear of these diseases that are common to pass on, which Dallas is. They need to have good movement, good conformation, good temperament, and then preferably, I mean, not all stallions are proven in the show pen due to injury or whatever, but we would prefer them to prove themselves in the show pen first. So right now, Dallas is a weanling. He has a good temperament, so that has to keep going. He has good movement. That has to keep going. Conformation is very hard to judge at this stage in the game. He doesn't have any obvious issues that I think he won't grow out of or whatever. Like right now you can see his hip is high. That's just due to growth. So that is something we'll have to wait for him to grow up to judge. So right now there's nothing glaringly obvious that makes me want to geld him and to say he's not a stallion prospect, but we have some pretty high standards. And if he is gelded as a yearling, as a 2-year-old, he would be one that I would sell to a show home. Like, he would go on to be a show horse. Okay, so next up is Knox, aka RS John E. Knoxville. I love his name.
Everybody just comes in and just poops.
They do empty the tanks before they get going. So,
There he goes.
oh,
There he goes.
You're missing
Whoa.
it, Matt.
I ain't missing it.
Easy.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Now, here we go.
Whoa, Nelly. Easy. Knox is another VS Code Red colt that we are keeping in the hopes of being a stallion prospect. Again, we have pretty high standards for that. So on paper, Knox has a lot of almost full siblings. So his dam, KM Brandy Girl, is a full sibling to a mare named Snap Crackle Pop, who was a 2-time super horse. She has produced a super horse. She has produced with VS Code Red a super horse, multiple Congress champions, multiple world champions. So on paper, Knox has some pretty amazing family members. Again, lots of high standards for this horse that he would have to meet in order to be a stallion prospect. But his movement, he has a really large movement with his front legs. Like, he really has a big stride. And I think that's going to bode really well for him in the trail, Western riding. You know, I'm not sure. We'll have to see how he grows up for the Western Pleasure. He might be a little bit too big moving for that. But not to say if he doesn't hit that like 15-3, 16 hand mark, he could absolutely go on to do the Hunter under saddle. He could, if we ended up gelding him, be just like perfect for the all around, doing the equitation, horsemanship, showmanship, all those things. So time will tell as far as if he ends up being a stallion prospect and kind of sticking to those open classes like the Western riding and trail, or if he could go on to do those others with a youth or an amateur rider. See, he's got this really, it's different than Dallas in the fact that he's not quite as tight moving, but he still has this really cool cadence. He's a little spicier, I will say.
For me.
Bye, horse.
But I went,
I don't know. I'm just thinking of like, Pirates of the Caribbean? Whenever old Bootstrap Bill had to whip his son.
bootstrap dill?
Bill.
You said dill.
Dill would be hilarious though. Imagine you're a pirate.
That's bootstrap dill.
Yo, Dill. I don't know why that's so funny. Judge what the emotional toll is gonna take and then. It's kind of. It was kind of like, I'm gonna ding dong ditch.
They're all looking so fuzzy and gross. Millie. I was about to say, you want to get like a cute face shot before we let her go? Big boogies.
Please get your butters.
So get her booger out. Millie. Millie's the baby. She was the last one born. She is VS Code Red, and then a mare named Marilyn Monroe. So Millie's name is RS Marry a Millionaire. I loved it. I thought that was such a cute name because it's a Marilyn Monroe movie.
It's your best
Get it?
name of the year.
I think so too. So, Miss Millie, go show us your stuff. Millie is my only double registered baby from the year. This is for you. And so she is registered both quarter horse and American paint horse, even though she is the arguably most solid baby of the year. Arguably has the least amount of white on her body. Millie is an interesting one because arguably she's bred very well for the Western Pleasure. Her mom is a paint horse world champion in the Western Pleasure. She's placed at the Congress in the Western Pleasure. But her sire as well, being VS Code Red. But she came out with what I believe to be a much more free flowing stride that if she gets to be the size, so if she gets to be around 16 hands, if not more, because her sire is 16 hands, I think she could absolutely do the Hunter under saddle and be a Hunter under saddle futurity horse as like a 3-year-old and 4-year-old. And then maybe go on to do the Western riding, the trail. I think absolutely she has the movement for that. But she's just so big strided, has this really cool cadence, really reaches up underneath herself with her hind end, very light in the front end. She could absolutely do the Western Pleasure. she's the only baby of the year that really screamed to me of my keepers that she would be a hunter under saddle prospect. So we'll just have to see how she grows up. You know, if she is going to be really large, I think that would be a good start for her in the hunter under saddle. But I think also she could be just an amazing all-around horse and go on to do the Western and English. So with her being a filly, I could absolutely see her being, you know, one of my own show horses that I show in the future, and like the horsemanship and the equitation and the showmanship and, you know, doing all of those things. And that would just prove her more to be either in my own or in someone else's broodmare band at some point in her life. But she's just, don't get mad at me when I say this, I think she's my favorite mover of the year so far. At this point in time, I think she's my favorite mover of the year. Hope you enjoyed. Let me know out of these 4 keeper weanlings who is your favorite. If you haven't gone and watched all of their birthing videos, we have every single one of their births on camera. So that's a fun part about getting to see the breeding season, the foaling season, and then we get to watch them grow up and see how they develop, how their talents are then showcased when we show them. And I'm just so blessed to get to document all of that. So we're ending with Millie. Again, let me know who's your favorite and stay tuned for more updates.